Yeah. Hi guys, it's the Captain here, and today we're having a look at a mighty little brute of an amplifier called the Matrix VB800. Matrix, if you're not sure, are a British company based out of the wonderfully rural rolling hills of Wales in Monmouth, beautiful place. And their history is actually in making PA gear and more recently making pro sort of rack gear and cabinets that lots and lots of guitar players have chosen to pair up with things like the Axe or the Kemper, and use as sort of a loud touring grade kind of performance. But this is the first attempt that Matrix have had of just building their own completely self-enclosed, don't need anything else with it, guitar amplifier. Now, the reason everybody has fallen in love with Matrix at the pro end is this gear is phenomenally reliable, incredibly lightweight, and loud that defies all meaning, and is using a couple of preamp tubes in here to sort of add flavour and character, but the power section is from a very clever sort of solid state power amp design, and that's where the lightweight and the reliability comes from, because despite how much you drive and destroy this thing, there's really very little in here to go wrong. I believe Matrix claim a failure rate on their products of something like 0.25%, so what's that, 1 in every 400 amps. Crazy reliability. So we've had this for a few weeks now. These are going to be available to buy any day now, I think, in stores. It's paired up with a Matrix 1x12 cabinet that's been specially voiced and designed to go with this. Again, very compact, incredibly light, and capable of handling phenomenal kind of sound pressure levels. It's a single channel amplifier, so just got a high and a low input depending on how pokey the guitar is that you're using with it. Gain, bass, middle and treble. Overall volume, sort of signal and clip light on the front, effects loop on the back with a variable level control, speaker outputs, and this particular amps, the ones we'll be selling, are designed to work on a 220 to 240 volt, so anywhere basically in Europe or Australia you can use this. I believe they are being sold in America too, but obviously there'll be a different voltage version. Allegedly, we should be able to get 400 watts out of this thing, so it's just ridiculous. Obviously, out of a cabinet like this, it's going to sort of, leash it in a little bit, so it's not going to be crazy. But I must admit that 2 or 3 times during the sound clips that you're going to hear, we've sat here and just, it's been so beautifully clear and open and just lush sounding that we've not really realised quite how loud it is until almost, someone's kind of tried to talk, or you get some sort of relative volume control and you just think this is ridiculous. It's insanely loud. else is there to tell you about this, really? Not a lot. I've invited my friend Allan, who works here, to come and do some playing, because he's actually been using this very amplifier for all his gigs over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's very familiar with this. And we've also invited Rabea to come along to kind of tear it up a little bit. What amp do you normally use when you're gigging?
Yes, normally use a Fender Twin, massive, heavy, beautiful but heavy, and constantly kind of in and out of venues and, you know, downstairs, upstairs, in lifts, you know, loading bays, all that kind of thing. And, you know, it sounds beautiful, but it is a nightmare to gig with. It's a nightmare. So I did a couple of gigs quite recently with this one, and, you know, it's one of those kind of doomsday scenario load-ins, kind of upstairs, blah, 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 blah. And it was just a complete joy to carry in. You know, I was in and out with one go. You know, literally, you can carry the cab with one finger. The head is just weighs literally nothing. It's amazing, and it did the job. It was all the music we played was kind of very varied, lots of different styles. So it coped with so many different things: bit of rock, bit of jazz, bit of, you know, whatever else it was we did. Thoroughly impressed with it.
And you're using this with quite a sophisticated effects rack, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a TCG system, which I literally just plug it straight in the front, actually, and a couple of pedals. So yeah, it did everything I asked of it and more, kind of very willingly. It was great.
So were you not concerned then that perhaps the little amp wouldn't have the sort of headroom that perhaps you had in your Twin?
Possibly. I think it's very, very, very pokey for its size. I mean, obviously Twins are, you know, excessively loud, but it can cope with playing, you know, right next to a drummer. I've done a couple of smaller gigs with it, a couple of sort of pub club type gigs, and I suppose it was verging on not quite loud enough headroom wise. Volume wise, it's enough for you to hear yourself. Anything other than, you know, your sort of small pub club gig, we probably want to mic a bit up and have it coming back to you. But a couple of other gigs where you've been a little bit further away from a drummer, actually it's been fine. Those are in big rooms too. Obviously it's mic'd up and everything, but certainly from monitoring, it's plenty loud. And it, you know, and it's sort of, you can get it to do quite a nice break-up tone actually if you don't have the gain too high. I probably had the volume on nearly all the way around, which, I mean, like even in here it's excessively loud, isn't it? It's kind of pretty hot. So yeah, it's definitely a gigging weapon.
We're using some TC pedals on the floor, so we've got a flashback, a Hall of Fame and a Corona chorus pedal through the effects loop, and we're using a spark boost in the front end just to give it a little bit of extra, but the spark isn't really adding any extra gain as such. Any gain that you hear is coming from here. So that's my blurb over. You can find out more about these amplifiers, including how much they are and all that kind of stuff, and do go and check, because they're a lot less than you think they'll be, in the description below this video. Or of course you can just come to the Andertons website, search for Matrix amps, and you'll see all this stuff. There's a 212 coming in the pipeline soon as well, if you just fancy something a bit chunkier for gigging. But yes, enjoy what you hear. Always love listening to Allan and Rabea play. Hope you do too. That's it. See you next time.